So activity 4.4 prepares us to solve quadratic equations algebraically. But before we do that, we need to review some algebra. So part 1, polynomial multiplication. All right, well, first of all, polynomial is an expression that consists of a term or a sum of terms, provided the exponents on the variables are non-negative integers. So this first example, this is a polynomial because we have no negative integers for exponents. The second one, you can see this x to the negative 5 is going to give us a problem. So this would not be considered a polynomial. Then we have monomials, binomials, and trinomials. And this probably makes sense, right? A polynomial with one term is called monomial, 2 terms, binomial, 3 terms, trinomial, and so on. When we multiply polynomials, right, we use the distributive property and properties of exponents. So when you look at this 3x times the quantity, 4x squared minus 2x plus 7, well, we distribute the 3 all the way through, and we distribute the x all the way through. So think of this as 3x times 4x squared. That gives us 12x cubed. And then we have 3x times negative 2x, which gives us negative 6x squared. And then the 3x times 7 is 21x. So let's try a few practice problems. Problem 2, we have y squared times the quantity 5y minus 1. So we're going to distribute the y squared all the way through. Right? We're going to multiply the 5y by the y squared and the negative 1 by the y squared. So we're left with 5y cubed minus y squared. Number 4, again, we're going to distribute this negative x to the 4th all the way through. And you can see the negative x to the 4th times x cubed is negative x to the 7. Negative x to the 4 times negative 6x is positive, right? Negative times a negative is a positive 6x to the 5th. Remember, there's no number above the x, so that we assume it's a 1. So the 4 plus 1 give me 5. And then we have negative x to the 4th times 3, which will give us negative 3x to the 4th. And we can't combine any of these terms because the exponents are different, right? We do not have like terms here. Number 6. Okay, I'm going to handle number 6 in 2 steps. I'm going to handle the left side of this negative 4, and then we're going to handle the right side, okay? So number 6, we're going to say x squared times x squared is x to the 4th, and x squared times negative 4 is negative 4x squared. On the right side, we're going to have negative 4 times x squared is negative 4x squared, and negative 4 times negative 2x is positive 8x, and negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. Now we should combine like terms where we can. So I'm going to combine the negative 4x squared and the negative 4x squared to get the final answer of x to the 4 minus 8x squared plus 8x minus 4. And again, we can't combine any of these terms because the exponents are different. All right. Next, we're going to multiply a binomial by a binomial. Many of you have heard this term FOIL. Right? When we have 2 binomials and we're going to multiply them, we can use the FOIL method, right? Where the F stands for first, the O stands for outer, the I stands for inner, and the L stands for last. All right, so let's go right to some practice problems, and we'll try and solve by using FOIL. So example number 8 says use FOIL to multiply and simplify as much as possible. All right, so the F stands for first. So this is my first term, the x and the x. Right, that's my first. So when I multiply x times x, I'm left with x squared. So I'll write the x squared here on the side. Next we have O for outer, so we're going to multiply our outer terms. Right, so you see we have the x times 3, so we'll call that 3x. So I'll write that 3x over here. Next we have I for inner. And that's going to be the 5 times x, so I'll write 5x over here. And then L for last. So that's going to be the 5 times the 3, which is 15, and I'll place that over here. Now we can combine the 3x and the 5x to get 8x, and our final answer will look like this. and we're done. Let's try another one. Let's try number 12. Okay, we have x minus 9 times x minus 3. Again, we're going to use FOIL, so we multiply the first terms. That leaves us with x squared. So here are our outer terms, right? The O in FOIL. That would be x times negative 3, which we'll call negative 3x. Then we handle the I, which will be inner terms. And we'll have negative 9 times x, or negative 9x. And then we need the last terms. The L is for last. And that will be the negative 9 times negative 3, which is positive 27. And then we're going to want to combine like terms, the negative 3x and the negative 9x, to get negative 12x. And our final answer will be x squared minus 12x plus 27. Let's jump down to maybe two more problems. Let's take a look at problem number 40. Right? We have x plus 5 quantity squared. So we should probably first rewrite this. Okay, so x plus 5 squared is really the same as saying x plus 5 times x plus 5. So we continue with number 40 by using FOIL, right? The first, outer, inner, last. And again, we combine all of the components. So first would give me the x squared, which I'll write over here. The outer, or the O in FOIL, would give me x times 5, which is 5x. The I for inner would be 5 times x, which is also 5x. And the L for last would be the 5 times 5, which is 25. Again, we'll combine like terms, the 5x plus the 5x, to get 10x. And this is my final answer. And I think that completes FOIL.